Good morning, everybody. Today is February 15th, day after Valentine's. Welcome to the Retail Doc. I am live with you, so do me a favor and type in where you are joining me from, and then also what's the weather like where you are? I'm in upstate New York, and currently we are starting to break out of our month long of single digits, and I think we have a high of 36 today. So I know some of you are in the South and enjoying sun and all sorts of nice things. Hopefully we'll get around to that soon. I'm Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc. If you haven't followed me before, I am a motivational speaker. I'm the author of 3 books. I have an online retail sales training program called Sales RX, and I'm here to answer a few of your questions. And I thought I'd do a little bit differently today because I have a couple slides I'll share with you. So do me a favor, let me know you're out there, and also give me a thumbs up. And remember, you can always subscribe. I know that a lot of people say, I missed your lives, are you still doing them? I do still do them, but you've got to go in and look for the setting in your account to always be notified of them. And then, of course, follow me because I'm always putting something out there every day. So in any event, and before I get too far, yes, London was excellent. And tonight's newsletter, I'm going through and sharing with you a lot of what I learned in retail and 5 lessons for you. So hope you'll see that tonight. It goes out at 5:30. And make sure you're out of Valentine's leftovers by Tuesday. Just give dramatic markdowns. Nobody's looking for little hearts and things like that now. We're on to St. Patrick's Day, right? And starting to think about spring. So just be careful about that. But first off, I have one question from Becca. So she says, my manager insists that you okayed them to say hello or good morning when a customer walks into the store. I don't remember hello being an option on the training videos. I know it's a small thing, but would you clarify it? We both know that welcome in is out. Well, Becca, that's excellent that you asked. You should have bet them. You were right. I would never say hello. Hello is something you would ask somebody, you would say on the phone when you pick up a phone, hello, to let them know that you are there. But saying hello when someone walks in the door would be awkward. No, just say good morning and bite your tongue and don't say anything else. No one cares how you're doing. No one wants to know all other stuff. Just say good morning and that's it. So that's the easy one to answer. And there's Nancy. I'm glad you're here, Nancy. I thought it was going to show all of our comments on stage, but I guess it's not. So I have to actually show them. So thanks for being here this morning, Nancy. So, and there's Alex. Alex is showing up. So I guess I have to physically put those. I don't think I'll keep doing that because that'll distract me. In any event, somebody asked me a question. How much is too much merchandise in a window? Well, when I was in London, I was walking around, and Shackleton is a outdoor brand, and I thought this window was amazing for a lot of reasons. But when you talk about how much is too much merchandise in the window, this is just about right, because the overriding principle is, can we see into the store? That's what matters. When we can see into the store, that shows other people are in there shopping. And in fact, my angle's not too great, but there's a woman paying for something at the back all the way behind the yellow jacket. And there's another couple behind the tan one in the front. You just can't see them because people attract people. And when you put too much merchandise in the window, it's almost like you say, you don't have to come in, shop from the sidewalk. And that's really hard to understand. So in this case, Shackleton is in, I think it's Piccadilly Circus, but it's got a lot of foot traffic. So people are walking, they're not driving. And as you're walking by, you notice these big outdoor enthusiasts, right? The outfits and the big skis. And then your middle looks down and says, oh, they carry gloves and some boots and socks. So it gives you a sense of what they've got. That could be a little bit better. It's not the most gripping thing, but the colors that they use are pretty muted. So I like the warm tones of the walls, but I love the windows. You can see all the way to the sign in the back, your mission starts here, which is fabulous. But also on the windows, they put what that business does: exploration apparel, extreme expedition experiences, and then gives their hashtags for Instagram. So to me, that's pretty perfect. The example that I always use is, if you were to walk outside and you had your eyes, if you put a Post-it note right where your eyes are, they should just be about the middle of what you want. And that's the 2 guys, because that's where your eyes are going to first look at, and then they're going to go down to look at the shoes and the gloves. The main thing is, yes, there can be way too much merchandise. Most people put way too much merchandise, and they make the additional sin, if I can say it, is they put something behind those windows that you can't see around. So it basically um, gets rid of the whole idea that people attract people. You think that somehow whatever your widget is or something is going to get it. And the other thing I like about this is they're big enough items that you can see them. A lot of times people put really tiny items in down where people are looking and it doesn't work. Also, let's just unpack this whole window. Those crates underneath are all lit from below, which helps light up those darker jackets. And they're also lit from above because to light that to look handsome, the same thing with the gloves and the shoes for most merchants would be hard because they wouldn't have the lights. So it'd be this dark merchandise that wouldn't draw you in, and you wouldn't be able to see in what a great example of retail can be. Very specialty, they're not for everybody. It's not there. I'm not shopping there. I'm not into extreme anything outside. But if you are, then their message of live courageous is excellent. All right. So hope that helps. And if that gives you some ideas, give me some thumbs up. Let me know you're out there. You didn't give me many questions. I only have 3 that I'm doing, and I've already answered 2 now. So my last one is from Jamie. Jamie, I loved your question to me. AI sucks. What can I get of real importance? Well, I do a whole speech now on AI for whatever your type of business is, and I did one for a bunch of pool builders this last week in Florida, in Jacksonville. And I'm going to share one of the slides I use with them because I think so many people just don't know how to use AI correctly. And if I don't care where you're watching this on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, wherever you're watching this live, I think a lot of people do a little bit of it and think that it's great. And you usually do get pretty average answers. So let's take a look here. So this was a customer service rep. The number one thing I hear from retailers and everybody right now, it's so hard to get people, so hard to get good people. And I say, well, what are you doing to get good people? Oh, well, we have our listing in Indeed and, Upwork and everything else, or wherever it's going to be, Monster, right? And so I took this one. I just randomly decided, all right, a customer service rep for some kind of a pool company. And there it is. And that's not the point of this. You can see, and it's out there. And the thing that you want to remember is you want to ask AI to grade pretty much anything you put out. So if it's a newsletter, if it's an ad, if it's help wanted in this case, there are a million ways you can do it. Just ask it, grade this, whatever it is. And in this case, I didn't think many people were going to really be attracted to this. And so AI came back and said, overall grade is C+. Says what works. You've told us how much it costs. What doesn't work? We're seeking a customer service representative. That tells me nothing. Why should someone care about this job? What makes it different than the 500 other postings in Buffalo? Wow, that's pretty brutal. And it's right on because it knows where you are in Buffalo. No selling. The why you'll like working with us section is corporate speak, supportive team, values growth, invest in our people means nothing. Every company claims this. What do you actually offer? Specific training paths, promotion timeline, real examples of people who moved up. Duties list is a snooze, 15 bullet points that read like a procedure manual. Accurately enter and update customer information and process returns and create credit notes. Won't get anybody excited to apply. But the final one that I liked on this was the ask is heavy. You want someone who can handle calls, emails, live chat, learn pool products, work evenings and weekends, handle mandatory overtime, and stay calm under pressure for $20 to $23 an hour. That's a lot for entry pay in a market where Target starts at similar rates. Brutal. By the way, that's how I someday I've done a AI for my Sales RX community, and I talk about the type of instructions I give my AI, and it's to be brutal. I want short and brutal. And so it came back and it said it rewrote the whole job description, but then it added what you need. 1 to 2 years in customer service. You can write a clear email and handle a phone conversation without reading a script, comfortable with Windows or whatever it is, etc. Thick skin for difficult customers. I like gets you points. E-commerce marketplace experience, sales background where you actually close deals, NetSuite or any other CRM experience, and pool knowledge. Will teach you, but it helps if you know a cartridge filter from a sand filter. So that whole idea is that AI could be your friend and say, we can make this better. and it would and go through and rewrite it. So if you're struggling, most people are going into AI and say, "Oh, I asked AI to give me a job description, they did it," and they think that's it, and they print it. It's like, no, you start off with that. That does the heavy lifting of what you should be thinking about, but then you can say, "Ask me questions that are going to make mine stand out differently. What's wrong with this? What's one peculiar thing that I could put in here that makes me stand out?" Because the other thing to realize is that not only can use this to grade it, but so many companies now are using AI to get through to what your final, success looks like. And if you have a job description that looks like what everybody else is doing, then you're going to get overwhelmed and tell me, "Oh my gosh, I get the thousands of emails." Well, yeah, of course, because they're all set on a robot. If it's in my area, if they're going to pay at least, $20, et cetera, et cetera, it's going to just spam from whatever Indeed or whoever it is to whoever made that job posting. Well, if you've got something different in yours that they've got to mention, or something that you're saying you've got to do this, then it's going to cut a lot of that out. And more importantly, you're more likely to get someone like you than having corporate speak. So just be careful. Also, that was just such a great point. It was a heavy ask of, here's 15 things that you better be able to do, and we'll give you a bowl of gruel, is what it kind of comes down to. And I get how we get there, because you've hired someone who has said, "Oh, well, we've got to be very careful. We got to give them everything they're going to do. We don't want them to think that it's an easy job." Yeah, well, then you can't get anybody. So that whole idea of selling them on who you are and why it's a fun place to work, what the opportunities are outside of what you're hiring for right now, and more importantly, what makes you competitive in your market, AI can help you with. But that's usually going to be a 20 to 25-minute conversation. "Bob, that's not fun." It's very fun, because once you get used to it, you end up realizing that, "Oh, I can do so much more with my time." The 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 training of AI also is not to type it. If you're typing AI, that's a waste of your time. You always want to be speaking it, because you can think quicker than you can type. So you can interrupt it. It's not a person. You're just like, "No, no, no, that's not what I'm saying. Do this. No, 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 do this." And it's interesting, because I've already seen like half the people dropped off of this, which makes me laugh, because people think, "Oh, I don't need AI. Oh, he's talking AI. I don't need it." Uh, I can guarantee you there were two big innovations. There was fire, there was the internet, and now it's AI. They are equal in what they're going to do. And more importantly, smaller retailers keep thinking, "Oh, I don't need it," or "I won't need it." You better believe you're going to need it. And you're going to be having young employees who are going to come in expecting you to be able to use it. And instead of just giving someone something off and say, "Oh, well, go and do this," you need to jump in. I don't care what level you're in right now, whether it's Chat or Claude. Those are two big ones. You can use Gemini, which is from Google, or Copilot from Microsoft. And you can just start off and say, "I'm brand new. I don't know. I've never done this before. Can you help me? What would be a good first project for me?" Great. But you have no excuse. You have no excuse to say, "Oh, I'm not getting the results I want," or "I don't need it," because now I've told you. So there you go. And it's 9:13. If you have any questions, I am live right now, but I don't see any other questions coming up here. So unless you have some other questions for me, what do you think? Is that helpful for you? What's one thing you got out of being on this call with me right now? What's one thing you got out of being on this? Oh, and Nancy, you stumbled onto my live this morning. I know Facebook pretty much has given up on notifying people, and then I think LinkedIn is better, but not a people on LinkedIn at 9 a.m. And Alex, I appreciate you being all the way from Washington. That's great. I'll probably have to put a boost under this for my own followers to find it. So, what's one thing you got out of being on this today? Oh, Roberta, to be unafraid. That's exactly it. I'm glad you're here. That's right. Just be unafraid. You can't break it. There's nothing somebody there's nothing somebody is going to tell you, right? It's just you and it, and it's an it. So it's just software. I mean, are you afraid of using Word? Maybe Excel. Then we get into the Excel. Yeah, I can get that. But you shouldn't be afraid of anything AI can do from you. What we should be afraid of is AI, what it's going to do to all of us, because it only takes one bad actor. And I totally believe Skynet is going to happen. Hopefully not in my lifetime. Please just let it be in somebody else's lifetime. But this idea of they are getting smarter and they're understanding, big article hit last Sunday where there's a new version of AI, and it was called Claude-bot, but then it was sued by Claude, which is another AI company, and now it's like MorphBot or something. Anyway, it's this AI that you can put into a separate computer and give it access to your email and your credit cards and all this stuff, and it can go out and shop for you and it can do a lot of things. Yeah, well, that's fine, except that now all those machines connected have formed their own religion and are talking about the owners of the AI. And more importantly, one guy had his call him, which he had never thought of, and it is moving it so exponentially fast that they really have no idea, which is why you're hearing a lot of founders calling the alarm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Yeah, well, we could have all told you this 2 years ago. You don't know what it's doing or why. And when you look under the hood, it looks benign, but the reality is they don't know. In the meantime, for us, if you can use it before Skynet gets here, if you can use it in a way that supports your business, then it's more than worth it. And always pay for it. Don't do the free version, because the paid version has much better memory. You can upload more, and it's just smarter. I can just tell you that. Roberta, good morning from Alabama. Thanks for that. I'm glad you're here, Crystal. Great. Let AI grade my newsletter, Nancy. Yeah, exactly. And Roberta, open the pod bay door, Hal. Exactly. In any event, we're about as happy as we'll make our minds up to be. I appreciate you joining me here today. Again, I try to do this once, usually the first or second Sunday of the month. So look for it. I ask for your questions on Saturday and hope that you give me something that's interesting. So today I appreciate Sue, how much is too much merchandise in the window, and Jamie with the AI sucks. And more importantly, just remember that it's what you bring to the table. It's not what somebody else is doing. If you're saying you're not making enough money and your business is slow, et cetera, well, look in the mirror. What are you actually providing that makes somebody feel that they matter, whether that's an employee or a customer? And if you're not doing it as well, you know what? You can all change with the next person walking in the door. I'm Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc. Thanks for joining me this morning.